Good morning and good Friday to you. And it is Good Friday, Resurrection Weekend, as we call it. Many Christians celebrating Easter this weekend. So, welcome one and welcome all. I know that in Indonesia we have holidays. Around the world we have Christian holidays. So, welcome to everyone. There's a lot going on in the cruise industry this week, and we would like to first of all go to Brazil. And is Mr. Eduardo with us this morning? Eduardo, good morning to you.
Good morning, good evening to everybody in Asia, uh, people around the world. Good morning from Brazil. Welcome to our town hall show, and of course, happy Friday. The Friday here is a holiday, and usually people they try to eat fish as they try to keep the tradition and avoid different types of meat in order to celebrate, about Jesus, about the important.
Well, Eduardo, we're happy to have you with us and hope that things are going well in Brazil. I know that there's still a lot of COVID cases going on, so all of our best to you and the family. Talk to us about Brazil and what happens Easter time.
Yeah, usually in the Easter, most of the businesses are closed, but of course, during the situation, people are trying to be open as much as possible in order to make money, sell, and then provide for those people who need. And at this time, as a tradition, people eat fish, any type of fish, and they avoid the regular meat, the meat from cow, from like chicken. They avoid this type of meat. Today, as a tradition, they try to eat fish in order to celebrate the Easter, in order to celebrate about the sacrifice that Jesus has done for us.
It's always great to be there with your family to be celebrating Easter, and I know that I'm without my family here, but I will celebrate with them in spirit. There's a lot of news going on today, but first and foremost, it is Good Friday, so a very happy Good Friday to everyone. And of course, Resurrection Weekend. I will get that word down one day. And we talk about Easter. Easter is going to be coming this Sunday to all of us. So happy Easter to everyone around the world. We thank you for being here. And as Eduardo says, if you haven't taken time yet to subscribe, we ask that you please do so. Give us a thumbs up. We have a great show for you today. But I would also like to talk about some people that are very, very special to us around Easter time. And of course, one of the most special people in my life was my mother. My mother always wore hats for Easter. She would dress up for Easter. We would go to church. You would see her in her hats. I think there was nothing more she loved than Easter and the family. It was actually her probably most special holiday. So as you can see on the screen, there's some pictures of her with parts of my family members, some of my best friends there as well. So again, we celebrate that, and God bless everyone out there, and happy Easter to you. Now, Easter this year has brought a lot of heartache, a lot of togetherness, a lot of pain. We have put together this video, and again, I would like to thank Mr. Henrique in Brazil, who has put this video together for us. We lost a lot of people on COVID. On the ships as well. And of course, around the world, we lost a lot of people. But this video is specifically for those that we lost on the ships. Special tribute to many that we also lost on the ships. It was a very sad situation. This is when COVID first struck the ships, and we had everything from suicides to deaths from COVID. Many things were happening. So again, we say thank you to all of those people for being there, right? And we send our blessings to their families. Lots and lots of things going in the cruise industry, and one of those happens to be that the governor of Florida, Mr. Ron DeSantos, has gathered many of the cruise executives and decided to go against the CDC. And it was quite a gathering of people in the port of,
you can't sail by the time we get to like the end
one
of
of our
June.
ports of Florida,
Basically, the
and
CDC
we would like to bring you
saying
parts
the
of
vaccines
that
don't
story.
work. Then they're
And
basically
we start off with
anti-vaxxers
Mr. Ron DeSantos,
it's
who
going to
is
be
the governor
available
of
for
Florida,
everybody.
who has said,
and I know not
enough
100%
is
are going
enough.
to take it, and
it's
that's their
so great that
choice.
he's
But I
gotten
mean,
people
this thing will
together
be
to
so
talk
widely
about this.
available.
So we have
and
his
we're
first
getting
video,
close to where that's
and let's, as he brings the people together, let's talk to them. I think we're working on some little technical difficulties. A few moments. There's a. By the way, there was some breaking news today as I woke up. I heard that what was happening, that the government has finally decided to sit down and talk to the cruise industry. They've been pretty much ignoring them for the last 10, 12 months. That's what we're going to see a little bit later in the video. But some good information here, and I believe if we're ready, are we ready to go back to that? As we call this our special edition for our executives. No, I think we're still searching.
The case, that'll probably happen in April. So you're going to have that. And so at what basis is you have effective instant testing, you have effective treatments, the monoclonal antibodies, and you have vaccine. So you still can't live and these industries can't operate even with all of that? I mean, that just doesn't work. And so we're much better off where we are on all this today than we were in October when they did the conditional sale order. But we'll be even better by the time we get to the end of June. It's no question in terms of the availability of all this stuff.
And sorry about that little hiccup there. We'll definitely get it together. As you see, Mr. Ron DeSantos says that the CDC really needs to get their act together. It seems that they're anti-vaxxer, which of course they are not. There are many vaccines going on here in Florida. We have a large majority of people, and I believe starting last Monday, people up until 40, at the age of 40, were able to get their vaccines. You know, one of the reasons to bring these people together at the port was to talk about what's going on in the industry. And one of the people that they brought together is somebody that we dearly do a lot of business with. That's the Apollo Group. And the Apollo Group is let's say it's a medium-sized company, over 260 employees. And they also, as Mr. Jose Ramon, who is their president and CEO, talked about what has happened to their company since this was all put together, or actually this has all happened. And let's listen to a story.
We want to hear from some of the other folks. So we have Jose Ramon Barrera, warehouse operator from the Apollo Group. So can you introduce yourself, talk about what you do and how the no sale orders affected you?
Thank you, Governor. Thank you for your support. So I'm Jose. I'm the owner of the Apollo Group. We are a 50-year-old family company passed down from my uncle to me. We operate about 300,000 square feet of warehouse space in Miami. Pre-pandemic, we were operating 24/7 with about 250 employees. Today we have about 60 employees left. There is a lot of inventory that has been left, which is something that people don't think about, but we do have a ton of inventory left from when the ships stopped. A lot of it bonded inventory that can only be exported, so it cannot be used for the domestic trade. And we have another problem, which is as a smaller company, we see NCL, Royal, all the big guys that have the option and the ability, and they've done a very good job at raising equity, raising debt. For us, it's a lot more difficult. We have to deal with the banks in a much different way. So that has created another problem for us. And basically, it's been 14 months of very, very little revenue, a lot of job losses, a lot of people having to be furloughed, let go, a lot of human capital lost. So we can't wait. We want to start. We are rearing for it. And thank you, Mr. Governor, for your help.
So if they're able to sail again, would you be able to add employees?
We will be right back to the pre-pandemic levels. Yeah.
So you'd be at 275 employees just like that if they lift the no sail order.
Yeah.
So there you have Mr. Jose Ramon, and he's talking about the Apollo Group, of course. And they're a 50-year-old company. They had 250 employees, and now they're down to less than 60 today. So imagine what's happening. We have these very large cruise lines who are able to go to the stock market and raise money, and good for them. Then you have the medium-sized business, such as CTI, such as Apollo. And yet we have to stay in business because naturally we have to get the crew ready, we have to provide crew. And Apollo does a lot more than crew. They do great food, they do warehousing, they provide a lot of the supplies that ships need. And I understand when he talks there also, because I can relate it to CTI. For example, they buy lots of stock in advance to go to the ships, whether it be eggs, food, flour, all sorts of things. They buy a lot of this and they stock it in their warehouses. Well, all of a sudden COVID hits and they're stuck with a whole lot of stuff because naturally the cruise ships can't use it because there's no one on the ship to eat the food. So now they have a lot of things in the warehouse. The same thing with CTI. We just finished a huge recruiting trip. Eduardo was there and we recruited almost 1,000 people. And we came back getting ready to process them, put them on the ship, and guess what happens? Nobody can go. And a lot of crew members out there felt that pain just as we did. And as well, CTI had to downsize. We had to make shortcuts, but luckily we're still here, and God willing, we're going to continue to stay here. Eduardo was here through that whole transition. Eduardo, you want to give us your insight on that?
Oh, yes. Yeah, we see a lot of pain in the industry. Also, a different business also is struggling a lot. We CTI, we has tried to use our efforts with all the employees that we have in USA and also the companies that we have in Asia in order to help the cruise industry to repatriate everybody. And I think that was a moment when everybody was working a lot, mostly the guys working on the processing side. And of course, because everything was stopped, money was not coming in, which is make even difficult to keep all the employers. But thanks God, as you mentioned, that we're still alive. And I believe that June or July, we're going to come back strongly. But anyhow, I think look at what the guy was saying about the small business, but actually it's not small because we work with a large industry. We try, and then we need this support. It can be from the government, it can be from anywhere, but just to keep alive, because as the cruise line start to take off again, as things start to get back to normal, we're gonna need those people who one day left. And it's not only about salaries and things like that. Those people, they have a knowledge to bring these people back to the ship, to process them, to help them get visas and all that kind of things. And of course, if you go to the marketing and try to bring someone right now with that knowledge, it is not right there waiting for you. So you have to train them. So this takes time. And I think that CTI has
I think we lost a little bit of the connection there, but of course, piggybacking on what Eduardo said, we did. There's a lot of people who lost their jobs, not only for crew members themselves, but also at cruise lines, at CTI, at Apollo. And these things hurt everybody, but we are coming back. There is the light. As I said, there was some late breaking news this morning that the CDC is about to release some new information, and I know that all the cruise lines are working for that. Now, so that's the medium-sized businesses. We talk about ourselves, we talk about Apollo, and of course, then we have the major corporations. Let's talk about Carnival Cruise Line. Well, everybody knows Christine Duffy. She's very popular on our channel. Whenever we release one of her videos, they're always very, very highly rated. And Christine Duffy, the president of Carnival, she's going to talk about how Carnival has been affected. And all the cruise lines are going to be here, so stand by, don't go away. Let's go to Christine Duffy.
Christine Duffy, Carnival Cruise.
Thank you, Governor, and thank you from all of us at Carnival Corporation for your support. As you may know, Carnival Corporation represents nearly 50% of the cruise business with 9 brands, and like my colleagues, we have many of our sister brands that are sailing very successfully around the world. But Carnival Cruise Line, I like to say, is America's cruise line. And we sail from 14 U.S. home ports here in this country, the majority from Florida. And our guests save up all year, many of them, to take that vacation with their family. We sail more family and children. July, the summer is coming. As chair of the U.S. Travel Association, airlines, hotels, resorts, every part of the travel and tourism sector is preparing for summer travel. As you've heard from our colleagues, the protocols that have been put in place already by the cruise industry go above what we see in any other part of travel or entertainment. We have many, many of our guests that drive to their cruise vacation. This beautiful terminal here in Port Canaveral was built for a ship that we just delivered that we are not able to start up in the U.S. We've seen cruise lines that would normally operate out of U.S. home ports having to move their ships offshore to begin operation, where Americans will be able to fly on a plane, get on a ship in another country, take their cruise, and then fly right back. So, at Carnival, we have not made any plans to move our ships out of our U.S. home ports. And I hope that we won't have to do that. But we need some movement, some direction, because that conditional sale order that's been in place since the fall, pre-vaccines, we've heard that distribution, any American that wants a vaccine can have one by the end of May. So I think we're ready, and it is time that we understand and that we can be prepared. As you said, we can't just turn around the next day and start cruising. So we want to be able to have the direction that we need to be ready. Our ships are ready.
And what about your employee situation? What have you had to do over the last year, and would you be able to hire people?
We still have people who are on furlough. We have cut our resources by probably 40%. We have people who want to come back to work. As you've heard from all of the partners here, all of us rely on the supply chain, that many of those companies are small businesses here in the state of Florida. They're not working. So we can bring those jobs back tomorrow, but we need some direction. And thank you again for your support, and all of you, and especially here at the port for Port Canaveral.
There you have Carnival Cruise Line and Christine Duffy. And as you hear, she said 40% of their staff has been cut. That's a lot of cut when you're a global corporation. You have big offices. A lot of people are on furlough. Some people have just been let go, period. And that's just not, the way that it had been planned. And of course, the pandemic has caught us all off guard. As you see also, Christine Duffy says, we are America's cruise line. We do not plan to leave our ports. We plan to get started here in America, but they also need some guidance, and they're waiting for the CDC to give that guidance. And as I announced at the top of the show, it looks like we may be getting something. So in the next couple days, maybe over the weekend, maybe early next week, we do expect to hear from the CDC to get things moving forward. Next, we talk about Royal Caribbean, the world's second largest cruise line. And Mr. Michael Bayley, who is the CEO and the president of Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, he has some words for us regarding what Royal has gone through.
So, okay, Michael Bayley, Royal Caribbean.
Thank you, Governor, and I'd like to thank all of my colleagues. Everything that they've said, I completely support and endorse. It's been a devastating year for our industry and our business. We've effectively been shut down for over a year since the no-sail order, and for the past 5 months since the CDC issued the conditional sail order, we've had literally no progress. And when we've inquired as to the progress of that conditional sail order, we've been told basically that it is in intergovernmental agency review. And we have been told that on multiple occasions. It's coming, but it's in review. In the meantime, we effectively, pre-COVID, were bringing 4 million tourists a year who sailed on our ships from Florida ports. We were spending approximately $2 billion a year in Florida on supply chain that supplied our ships, whether it be fuel, eggs, water, provisions. We have operations all the way through South Florida, call centers, warehousing, head offices. We effectively shut them. We reduced our workforce by approximately 40%. Those are people who had high-paying jobs who literally were sent home, either on furlough or simply were let go, waiting for our industry to restart. We suspended billions of dollars of capital projects, not only in the United States, but within the Caribbean. And sometimes we forget that the Caribbean are our neighbors, and these communities have been devastated by the lack of tourism going into them. And so all of that has played a critical role in terms of really, damaging the industry and putting people out of work. And to the other comments that my colleagues have made, we rely on thousands of small businesses, whether it's florists, uniform providers, provisioners, designers, architects. Just the suspension of our capital projects effectively means that we shut down all of our relationships with design firms and architects throughout Florida. And so it's been a devastating process. We are a global company. We have 5 cruise brands based around the world. And to a similar situation to my colleagues, we've started operating. We started operating from Singapore in December of last year. We've carried over 50,000 Singaporeans extremely safely, without incident, without any issues at all, working in a very collaborative way with the Singaporean government and the health ministry there. Our brands in Europe have carried people from Germany and throughout Europe, and we've had no issues. We've developed significant technology for contact tracing. We've got protocols in place that we've all worked on as an industry that are incredibly sophisticated and we believe are state-of-the-art. And so we're confused. We're a Florida-based entity. We have a huge business. We carry 9 million, 10 million Americans a year on vacations. They love these vacations. And suddenly, it stopped. And yet we can't get any reliable information from the entity that's closed us down. It's in intergovernmental agency review, month after month after month. It's devastating. We have now started to take our ships because we have to, and we've started to home port them in other locations. We announced that we're opening up in Israel because the Israeli government reached out to us and we had a collaborative process, and we're starting to cruise from Israel in June. We recently announced that one of our ships will be home porting in Nassau in the Bahamas. We opened it for sale a couple of days ago. Fantastic demand, primarily from our American customers. We announced that we're opening one of our ships and home porting it in Bermuda, and that'll start in June. Exactly the same thing. So we're in this bizarre situation where we're all Americans. We've got huge workforces in America. We buy all of our products in America. We supply our ships from America. Most of our customers are from America, and yet we cannot get any guidance. And so I thank you for your support, and it's wonderful to see, and it's great to be invited here to speak with you today. So thank you.
What does this say about a bureaucracy that can't even get its ducks in a row and just doesn't even care that people are hurting or that people aren't able to work or that people are on furlough? Like, you can't even bring yourself to come to the table and communicate and provide a way forward for people. I mean, it's really an example of poor leadership and poor governance. They should not have the authority to shut this down to begin with, let's just be honest. But to just not have any regard or have no sense of urgency after a year. And as they said, it's not just the people that they employ. You have all these other businesses and workers that are feeding into this. And it's all going to happen anyways. It's just not going to happen in the United States or in the state of Florida. I mean, how does that make any sense at all?
You know, it's true that it makes no sense at all for all of this going on. What's happening is that cruise lines are going to sell out of other ports. And as you heard Mr. Bayley, they say there, you know, we're going to Bermuda, we're going to St. Martin, we're going to Nassau, and they've opened up for cruising, and the bookings are just off the charts. So congratulations to them, but they can no longer sit here and wait for the CDC. And he also talks about how it affects the U.S. economy, especially Florida. You know, everybody from providing flowers and eggs and everything else on the ship, all of those small businesses are hurting. So I believe that we will finally see some traction going forward here with the CDC. Now, you'll see that some of our transitions there, you can see that we've got the Maritime Challenge going on, and that for 2021 is bigger and better than ever. So, Eduardo, you want to give us an update on the Maritime Challenge?
Oh yeah, I believe this is going to be much better as we also raise the prizes. You know, last year we put 2,000 for grabs, and if I'm not mistaken, 14 people could win up of these 2,000. And this year we go, and we're gonna have laptops, airline tickets, and prizes can arrive very close to $1,000 only for one, which means the first place. And this is a opportunity for you that like to show your talent on the side. Some people, they like to sing, like to cook, to tell stories, which is everybody has their story. Last week I present a little bit about my story from my hometown when I grew up, about my dreams, things that I with of people on the ship as well, have the drive to leave their houses and go do something else in order to succeed and help the family. And you can bring that story. Just go to our website, cti-usa.com, make your video, send it to us 2 to 3 minutes into the website. When you start to prepare your video, all the requirements are there, so you can make sure you're gonna make a nice video your camera can be stable. Send to us. We have already a lot of people registering, and soon we are going to start to bring those people here. And then, as we did last year, you guys are going to be able to join them and go to our YouTube channel, do a videos, do like, put your comments, all the kind of things, which is going to help us to move them to the next phase of the Maritime Challenge 2021. So we can't wait to see your talent. We can wait to submit on our website, and we hope you guys challenge yourselves, because that's what is important this time, so you see progress about your ability and skills.
Last year I believe that our ultimate winner was a gentleman from Royal Caribbean. Is that correct?
He came, and he was one of the guys who did really good on the first phase. But over time, he started to build his audience as he worked for Royal Caribbean. And if I'm not mistaken, he worked on the HR department. He was sharing his links, he was sharing his video and his talent with everybody, bringing people along and helping people, was supporting him. But in the very end, it depends on your skill, which is with all contestants, and he won the ultimate, won the Maritime Challenge, being the first one all level.
Yeah, what's so great is to see so many cruise lines entering. I mean, it's not, this is where you'll also see some of our videos called WAAS, We Are All Seafarers. So being all seafarers, it doesn't matter what cruise line you work for. I know we had some tankers and oilers, some chief engineers that entered into the contest that did very well. So this year it's open to a very wide range of people. And as you say, the prizes are far better this year. We're looking for a great turnout. And you can show your company spirit, you can show your ship spirit. One ship will compete against another ship, even though they may be for another cruise line. So I believe that this year it's going to be very, very exciting. Any last words on that, Eduardo, for Maritime Challenge?
Yeah, just don't delay. Go and submit your video, because as your video being exposed first, of course, when we post on our YouTube channel, you're gonna have the opportunity to have more views. And as you reach, for example, 1,000 views, you already qualify to go to the next level of the game. So submit your video right now, get a script really quick, do it yourself, and then send it to us, because it's quick, we receive and then we start to present. You have more chance to build your audience who's going to support you along the way.
That's great. That's great. Also, coming up the next couple of weeks, you'll see a brand new website that CTI will be launching, and a lot more interactive website. So hang in there, guys. That's coming very shortly as we continue to improve the things that we do here at CTI. Just going back to what Michael Bayley said a few moments ago, and he said that 40%, again, of Royal Caribbean staff are on furlough, or some have even lost their jobs. That's a huge number. And he also talked about vaccines and what has happened over the year. The whole cruising industry has changed. And when you look at so many millions and millions of tourists a year that they bring into the economy, you've got airlines, you've got buses, you've got hotels. There's always the pre and post package for cruise lines. A lot of people will fly in, stay a couple days, whether it be in Miami, New York, Los Angeles, wherever it may be. That also helps the American economy. And if you look at all the bars and the restaurants that are affected as well, they understand they carry huge amounts of American passengers, just as Carnival does. So it only makes sense that if all around the world they can cruise, then why can't Americans go cruising? The protocols on board the ships are just absolutely amazing. As Mr. Bayley said, of course, the technology is there. So I think that we're going to see some traction going on in the next couple weeks. And again, this is from the CDC. One of the things that also Royal has been doing is vaccinating their crew. Now, one of their ships, and one of their newest ships, the Odyssey of the Seas, as Michael said, will be going to Israel. All the crew members will be vaccinated. There was a letter actually sent out to all the crew talking about the vaccinations and how everybody should be part of this global effort, which is very important. So for now, the crew are being vaccinated. How do they get the vaccine? Some of them will get them at home. Some of them will get them on board the ship. Celebrity has also said that if they can't get it at home, they may be vaccinating them on the ship. So again, we always say, please check with your cruise line. Make sure that you go into the portals that they provide. Stay updated. Also check with your agents, because your agencies will also be receiving a lot of information. We also see this happening with Carnival. I can only say, as much as we've said all along, please check in with your agency to know what's going on, because people, once this hits, I can assure you that people will be going back very fast. Now, we go back to Eduardo, and I believe you have some information on NCL. We talked about the vaccination process there.
Yeah, it's just big news about NCL. As some cruise, of course, they are going to check the efficiency of the vaccine. And as people come from different countries, different locations, some of them are using different vaccine. And of course, NCL already stand and then what type of vaccine are they going to accept? You know, Astra, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and Pfizer. That's the vaccine that is welcome to them, approved to them. As other new vaccine probably still on testing, people don't know the efficiency of it. And it's good to mention that because in Brazil right now they have one company, called Butantan, is from Brazil, is a local here, and they now at this time, believe it or not, they start to build the vaccine, and they are going to take like 1,000 people to do the trials. So you see how behind we are, because we try to produce our own vaccine, and we are very, very behind. At this time, they're trying to do trials. So maybe that is one of the reasons that NCL already say, listen, this is the type of vaccine, this is the name, the companies we are going to approve. So,
Well, good luck to the people of Brazil. And let's hope that that vaccine works out well for the people in Brazil and the trials go well. As you say, they're a little bit farther behind, but let's hope that they catch up in the not so distant future. You know, speaking of NCL, and as Eduardo was talking about some of the vaccines that NCL has approved, there's a gentleman, Harry Sommer. He is the president and CEO of Norwegian Cruise Line. He was also at the meeting, and his comments they talk about safety first. So let's go to Mr. Sommer.
We too suffer from an economic and jobs perspective. We employ a few thousand employees in our headquarters in Miami and our satellite office in Sunrise, Florida, and have had to lay off hundreds of them during this pandemic. And Governor, to answer your question in advance, if the no-sale order was to be removed, we would be able to hire them back immediately. And restore them at full pay, good paying jobs and careers that people have for years and decades with us. We want to bring them back, Governor. You know, for us, we treat health and safety very important. As a company, we were proud to partner with our friends at Royal Caribbean to put together a healthy sail panel with former commissioners of the FDA, former directors of the CDC, real experts in infectious disease and other medical and scientific fields, to generate 74 science-based recommendations in order to allow for healthy sailing to continue. You mentioned in your introductory comments that we didn't just sit back and wait. We spend the months over the summer putting these recommendations together. And we're really excited that these recommendations were adopted by the entire industry. And cruise ships are now operating, as you mentioned, Governor, in many, many different areas in 10 separate regions of the world. Hundreds of thousands of guests have traveled on cruise ships throughout all these regions, and we've had no COVID outbreaks. None. Absolutely none. It is safe to cruise, Governor, and we are anxious to bring those protocols along with vaccines. You've done an incredible job, Governor, in vaccinating or in getting vaccinated the most vulnerable population here in Florida. We're very thankful and grateful for that. And the combination of these health protocols and vaccines really allows us to have a very strong safety profile for our ships. We're anxious to come back, Governor, and we thank you again for your support.
End of the day, we are all seafarers, and that's what that little video there is about. But of course, let's talk about Mr. Harry Sumner. He is the president and chief executive officer of Norwegian Cruise Line. They are the third largest cruise line in the world, and naturally they have divisions as well. And they said that they have had sailings with absolutely zero COVID outbreaks. The industry has, that is. He says they suffered just like all the other cruise lines have suffered. They have thousands of employees and hundreds have been laid off. And it's a shame. And again, maybe because America's so big, I don't know what, I don't even want to give them an excuse, but we should be able to do what all the European countries do. And even the islands in the Bahamas, they've got their stuff together and let people sail. I understand that the CDC, of course, worries about all of Americans, and we have so many nationalities, so many cultures in America, that there's always an opinion, and usually a valued opinion, and some which we'll just leave it at that. It's an opinion. All right, let's move on to Windstar Cruises. Windstar Cruises is also a major company which has decided that everyone will be vaccinated before they enter the ships. If you have ever been on a Windstar cruise, they are owned by the Xanterra Corporation. A little bit of history on Windstar. Windstar actually started as part of Holland America. Holland America had a little boutique cruise line, which happened to be Windstar, and then Windstar went by themselves for a little while, and then Xanterra came along, and Xanterra owns a lot of parks throughout the United States, a lot of RV parks, that sort of stuff, and then they decided to buy Windstar, and they've invested in Windstar, they've expanded Windstar. But Windstar has made the announcement that guess what's going to happen? All of the staff, all of the crew, and all of the passengers need to be vaccinated. And of course, they'll have to report that before they go on the ship. So I highly recommend, if you ever get a chance to go on a Windstar ship, I have done it myself, absolutely amazing. Now, something which is extremely innovative, and even though yesterday was known as April Fool's Day, April the 1st, I do not believe that this is a April Fool's joke, but Windstar is spending $500 million on a sea submarine initiative. Now, we have some pictures here, which I think is just absolutely amazing. You can see pictures of the cabin. And can you imagine being in a submarine? You have a queen-size bed, a very beautiful bedroom, and then all of a sudden, outside, you have whales swimming right with you, sharks swimming right with you. It's like living in a giant aquarium. So very, very exciting news there from Windstar. $500 million they're talking about. So we may think that, the cruise lines, and they are suffering, I get it, but they have lots of money and lots of investors who want to invest in this industry. This is an industry that will bounce back very fast, so let's get ready to see what happens with that great initiative. All right, moving forward, we're going to talk about Disney Cruise Lines. And Tommy Mazzola, president, and he's called the president, Disney Signature Experience at the Walt Disney Company. So he's in charge of Disney Cruise Lines, and he was also at the meeting. And it's going to be interesting to listen to what he has to say.
Governor DeSantis, thank you for your leadership and thank you for the opportunity to be here today. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. Let's get people back to work. Let's get people back to work. The health situation has changed. Member cruise lines are cruising very successfully outside the United States, proving that with the right protocols, cruising is a very safe and beautiful experience. We still have a significant portion of our Disney Cruise Line employees right here in Central Florida furloughed a year into this. And what most people don't realize, the impact this has on vendors, on business partners, communities, including the folks right here in Port Canaveral. Governor, they're struggling. They're struggling. Let's get people back to work. The health situation has changed. We have proven cruising is successfully. We're the only industry not allowed to operate by the US government. Let's get people back to work. Let's start by treating this industry like any other sector in travel and tourism. Thank you very much.
The president of Disney Cruise Line constantly, let's get people back to work. Let's get people back to work. Over and over he mentioned it. And you know, Disney still has a significant, as he said, number of employees that have been off over a year, just as the other cruise lines have as well. So they're ready to start. All other industries have started. Hotels, restaurants, the theme parks have started. You can fly on an airplane. Why can't you cruise on a ship? And again, I look for that to change very, very soon. And for all those crew out there who are just in the same boat that we are with the whole last year going on, get ready for some exciting news. Again, documents ready, everything in order. Do we have Eduardo? Is he still with us? Because he needs to talk about the documentation, and guys, we're going to keep pushing you for this. If you aren't ready, there's going to be an issue when it's time to go. So I know we've been saying this over and over again, but Eduardo, you want to expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, keep preaching right here, sounding like shit. We know that's necessary. Whoever has the desire to return the ship, it must take action. Contact the office, mostly our part as well. They are going to help you out. And I'm not talking only about Indonesia. We also have offices in Malaysia, Myanmar, Thailand, Vietnam. You can contact your office, and then they are going to guide in terms of appointments. We know that as everybody starts to return at the same time, it's going to be a lot of rushing, and you might don't have a good spot on the line waiting to get your visa or your medical stuff. But going through the office can help you cut that long way that you wait. So don't delay, guys. Understanding that if you are seafarer and you want to work on a ship, documentation is a must for you, and the document is yours. It belongs to you. So yeah, I'm here, but I think it seems that I remove.
That one.
Oh no, okay, I'm back, right? Of course, is very important what we do here. Going to next month, if I'm not mistaken, in June we are going to complete 1 year of Maritime Talent, not only our town hall show. Sorry. And we're going to complete 1 year. When we get started with our YouTube channel, was only right now. We just 5,000 on the last week, and we are very pleased to have you guys here be part of our family. So it's a lot of videos a lot of information for the last month or so. It's a lot of tutorials there. It's videos that can help you, give you information about the cruise line, about updates, what's going on, which is good for you. I recommend you guys to go there and check out. Yeah. But do not forget to subscribe on our channel. You know, put your comments, anything about if you like this content, write something. You know, if you don't like, go ahead. So we are family here. We want to talk with you. We want to build this with you. This moment, 1 year together, you know, very close, vibrate together, and we're going to continue. As we move forward, we're going to have much more events that we can create during this COVID away. So we are very welcome to us as CCI has this town hall, just to give you guys information about the cruise line. Don't forget, click on the button to subscribe, hit the notification. Every time when Steve Church upload a new video, I'm receiving firsthand, and he's been doing that a lot. Right, so you guys stay all week without any update, because we have updates every week.
You know, it's so true what Eduardo says, right? We get the analytics of the YouTube channel, and it's amazing how many people watch. Truly, thousands of people watch, but only 50% will subscribe. And I don't know why that is. It's free. It doesn't cost a thing. Or give us the like. If you give us a like, then that tells YouTube, hey, these guys are doing a good job, and they end up showing it to more people. So if we're in the cruise industry and you're part of our group, thank you so much. If you're not, feel free to join us. We would love to have you as part of the CTI family. And it really doesn't matter what cruise line, if you work on a cargo ship, a battleship, if you work at sea, then we're happy to have you here. And we'll be bringing news stories as we go along. You know, one of the things that's happening in Europe is that the ships are sailing and they are going back to the sea. In June, July, some of the biggest ships in the world are going to be sailing out of the UK. Marella has done some refurbishments to some of their ships. Absolutely phenomenal. And for those Marella crew, please understand, we have been told, we hope your documents are ready. Some of you may be going to the UK. We're waiting on a final decision over in the UK, and that will be coming very shortly. But all documents should be ready except for that UK visa. So if you're from Marella out there and you're watching, please contact the office. You'll be hearing very, very soon that we're going to be taking a large group back. Royal Caribbean also announced, and I love this. This is something that they're going to do out of the UK. They are talking that they are going to give away, I forget how many, 999 free cruises for those who work in the healthcare industry. So those frontliners, 999 free cruises. They'll have it on their website. You can go and register. So if you're watching from the UK, jump on that site, 999 free cruises or cabins. That is just an amazing thing. So congratulations to Royal for doing that. And I know that MSC has done that in the past. We'll bring to you. We'll bring that into another show. MSC is the fourth largest cruise line in the world, and expanding at a rapid rate. They have the world's youngest fleet, and again, they have been impacted as well. They want to invest lots of money in Florida into the cruise industry. Again, CDC, let's get on the move here, right? Now, coming up is the MHA, the Marine Hotel Association. Michael Bayley will be one of the lead speakers there. You can go on to the MHA website if you would like to see. They're doing an annual conference, and it's going to be the trade show, but it's going to be virtual. So if you'd like to see that, you can get a seat at that. Join in. I'm sure it's going to be an amazing, amazing event. Cunard also is going to be sailing in the UK, and they just announced that they have had their largest and busiest booking day in a decade. So again, the cruise ship people, they want to go back to cruise. Cruise people are saying, you know what, I want to cruise, I want to go on a ship, and the demand is very, very high. So congratulations to Cunard. As we bring our show to an end today, again, I would like to thank Eduardo in Brazil, who joined us. Also, thank all of the people out there who joined us. If you haven't given us a thumbs up, please do take a moment to do that. Again, happy Easter to you. Happy Passover. Again, we celebrate those who we have lost in the past. Our heart goes out to them and their family. But from myself and Eduardo, is he still on? Maybe he can say goodbye as well. Are you there, Eduardo? Yeah.
Here. Yeah. So thank you one more time, guys, to have you guys here. It's a big pleasure. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, wonderful sleep, and so we see you soon. We hope you guys keeping progressing with us, because that's the intention of the show. Bring updates to you, help you guys grow.
And you'll be back here next week, Eduardo, right?
Yeah, I'll be in the studio.
Yeah, he'll be back in the studio next week, so safe travel to you, Eduardo. I'm glad that you're with your mother and your family. Have a very blessed and happy Easter, and celebrate well. Be safe down there. We'll see you back here next week. And from all of us in the studio here, Harold, who's out there running the equipment, Natasha, Odie, all of the CTI offices, Jakarta, Bali, Jogja, Vietnam, all of the other ones out there as well in Kuala Lumpur. And again, our hearts need to go out, and everybody please say a prayer for what's going on in Myanmar. There's still quite a bit of unrest there, to Rowena and all the staff there. So as we close, God bless you all and have an amazing Easter weekend.